Montreal is the largest city in Canada's Quebec province, with a population of 1.78 million people. Montreal has considerable French colonial history, dating all the way back to the 16th century. According to the research database Britannica, Montreal began as a missionary settlement but soon became a fur trading center. The principal industries are manufacturing, generation of electric power, mining, pulp, and paper. They manufacture clothing and textiles, food and beverages, paper, metal, and wood products. Canada ranks 4th in the world in copper mining, and the operation is located in Quebec. They also harvest around 35 million cubic meters of wood a year for their paper and wood products, a statistic produced by the Canadian Encyclopedia from 2021. Montreal is now on its 4th sustainability plan, called Montreal 2030. This plan is publicly shared in a 72-page document titled Montreal 2030, a Citywide Strategic Plan. Montreal 2030 is a plan that strives to meet current and future problems. It's going to be deployed over 10 years with 4 action areas, 3 scales, and 20 action priorities. The plan is deployed over human, neighborhood, and city scales, and the 4 action areas include speeding up the ecological transition, strengthening solidarity, equality, and inclusion, promoting democracy and participation, and to stimulate innovation and creativity. Montreal 2030's main priority is to lend a listening ear and take action to revitalize the city based on their collective values and aspirations. Montreal, like many other cities, is suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic that started in 2020. This plan is brought about to guide the city to recovery, boosting the city's economic, social, and ecological resilience. The plan gives the city the means to improve their quality of life and quality of services offered to the Montreal residents. One of Montreal's main social initiatives to accomplish these sustainability goals is to provide citizens with a safe, quality living environment and a local response to their needs. The city's plan to fulfill this initiative includes committing to the following: ensuring complete access to well-maintained public parks for all citizens, working with local community and cultural leaders to provide services tailored to specific and unique needs of different local cultures and communities, maintaining infrastructure and public spaces to make neighborhoods both physically and psychologically safe for residents, and developing public spaces that have diverse spread of both users and uses in order to bring people together and strengthen social ties among communities. Montreal also takes pride in being the only francophone city in the Americas, meaning the majority of the population speaks French. As promoted in the Montreal 2030 plan, the city is excited to promote the French language in economic and cultural activities and highlight Montreal's unique cultural identity. In Montreal, citizens are encouraged to incorporate their culture and heritage into the development of the city, helping to give Montreal a distinguishable and unique identity that makes all residents feel like they belong. Montreal 2030 has also included an economic perspective, with the overarching economic goal to create a prosperous, sustainable, and competitive economy. The city plans to do this through initiatives such as supporting the development of high-potential economic sectors, such as cultural and creative industries, AI, clean technologies, life sciences, and transportation. One example of this is the city's commitment to contribute to the modernization of transportation practices in order to strengthen the economic vitality of the city. Another of the plan's initiatives for economic sustainability is to stimulate the creation and growth of businesses while supporting the circular economy. This will be done by supporting the development of networks between businesses, merchants, and community or cultural organizations, while also supporting the innovation and creativity within these areas in order to increase economic resilience and stimulate prosperity. Because Montreal is known for its prestigious universities, the City of Montreal is making steps to retain the high influx of students, all being potential skilled workers, through an initiative to create and support innovation zones within the city. These zones are developed to attract businesses, workers, and more students to the city in order to maintain a high level of jobs and talented workers, ensuring that the city's economy stays growing and thriving into the future. And finally, from the environmental perspective, Montreal is working to accelerate its actions related to ecological transition. In 2019, more than 500,000 people in Montreal advocated for the importance of placing ecological transition within their city's developmental actions. They urged the government to prioritize the climate emergency and the city's green recovery. According to Montreal 2030, there are 4 main challenges that the city is currently facing. These include an increase in transportation emissions, a mostly urbanized territory, a natural environment that's in jeopardy, and a significant amount of human waste that is produced. To speed up the ecological transition, Montreal is playing the leadership role of cooperating with businesses, government, civil society, and the public to be part of the movement and to actively contribute to the community. The city is looking to become more carbon neutral by 2050, put more biodiversity and green spaces in the city, provide affordable and accessible transportation options, support local purchasing, eco-responsible purchasing, and the circular and social economy. And lastly, they will implement the 3 Rs, reduction, recycling, and recovering for the zero waste goal. In order to specifically reduce greenhouse gas emissions, the city will reduce carbon-intensive travel, shift travel to more carbon-efficient transport models, and improve the energy efficiency of existing mobility options. The city not only adapts to climate change, but also seeks to strengthen its resilience to current and future environmental crises. To achieve the 2030 goal, Montreal is committed to developing a green and inclusive economy to reduce environmental impacts and protect the natural environment surrounding it. Montreal's 2030 sustainability plan is full of many great initiatives and goals that, if followed through, would lead the city down a path of long-term sustainability. Borrowing from the UN Sustainable Development Plan, Montreal plans on improving almost all aspects of modern life in a more sustainable way. However, as detailed as the plan is, they are missing an aspect that would greatly improve the success of their sustainability efforts. Montreal 2030 does not outline any educational strategies to help foster sustainability in communities and people. While the plan discusses engagement with communities, it does not specifically outline education development or implementation of educational resources, only having one of their outlined priorities linked to the Educational Sustainable Development Goal. According to a 2022 U.S. Environmental Protection Agency article on environmental education, educational strategies and resources are important for long-term sustainability because they allow for sustainable practices to become more embedded in personal beliefs and thus become long-term habits. Montreal's 2030 Sustainable Development Plan could implement this important aspect of sustainability by developing community involvement events and opportunities, and for educational institutions, developing an outline of desired goals for environmental and sustainable education. Representatives from Montreal's 2030 Sustainability Plan should host information sessions for schools, businesses, and local communities to promote sustainability and their specific goals. In the process, they'll provide resources and answer questions that each group may have. They should also host events for sustainability, such as cleanup events and sustainability workshops, providing access to as much of the community to participate as possible. For example, the Maryland State Department of Education and Maryland Association for Environmental and Outdoor Education outlined these exact strategies in their own sustainability initiatives, highlighting different activities for communities such as recycling drives and area cleanup days, all with educational aspects embedded in the plan. Montreal's 2030 Sustainability Plan can't rely on communities themselves to initiate these educational sustainability practices, especially if the communities aren't aware of these practices going on, which is why it must be included as a priority and more emphasized in sustainable developmental goals. These strategies and activities help individuals and communities gain a better understanding of sustainability practices, which in turn can only add to the success of other outlined priorities. Montreal's 2030 plan shows on paper that the city is strongly dedicated to a long-term sustainable future. Over the next few years, we hope to see these goals translated into reality, and hopefully then we can spotlight Montreal as an encouraging model for other cities around the world.